All right. Hey everybody. I am recording this so that you can work on it. All right. So today I can define a function and I can determine whether a relation is a function or a null. I can find the input or output of a function given the rule. All right. So this is your bell work. Basically, what you're going to do is if I go here, let me look real quick. If I go here. So you're basically going to put these into categories, kind of like we did with the numbers on the first day. Any categories you want. I need at least 2 categories, but there should be more. So like, I think these dots go together. Well, if you could click it. So I would put like this with this and move them together. Okay. You can do whatever you want. If you hate that idea, it sucks, whatever. Don't do that one. But so you need groups. And then in the next slide, you'll name those groups. So this has 4 for you. You can do more than 4 if you want. But once you group them together, try to think of a name and then put those names in here. So group 1 graphs, group title, explanation. Yeah. Okay. Then on this slide, pick which graph you type, graph A, graph B, graph C, which one does not belong in, in the group. So think about that one. When you're done with that, this is a video about talking about functions. Okay. So watch that. Right. And then graph sorting. So discrete and continuous. So let's look up that for a second. Discrete versus continuous. Look at that. All right. Oh, that's intense. So if you ever see math is fun, that is a good and simple way to look at different definitions. Continuous data is a range, so it's not, so it goes on. You can have infinite points in there. Discrete data is just, it says take certain values. So you have, right here it says values 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. You can't have anything in between that. You can't have like 9.5. You can't have 5.8. But continuous, you can have all of those in between 2 and 12. So if we look back at our thing here, all right, so like this would be continuous. This would be discrete. Okay. So you can kind of go off of that. All right, overview, what's a function? So basically you can look here. You can get it from this video, or you can look up back on here if you go. It has a dictionary. F for function. Can look. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. They do not. So you can still type in function if you want. What is a function? Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. What is a function? All right. So you can, math is fun is really great for all that kind of stuff. All right. So examples of functions, all that kind of stuff. I would keep this open, especially where it has the vertical line test and everything. I would keep this open so that if you want to go back and look at it, you can. All right. This is a very good page. I might actually just type that in there for you. Let's get that going. All right. That's a good place to go. All right. So determine, I'll go back to here so I can write. All right, so determine which relations represent a function. Okay, so this A is a function. Okay, you can also graph these. So if you go to Wolfram Alpha, all right, and I click and I do y equals 3 raised to the x power. Look at this. Boom. Or you can go, let's see, that one's a little intense. If you go to Desmos graphing, y equals 3 raised to the x. Boom. Look at that. Okay. Woo-ah. That was intense. Sorry. If you look at it forever, blue, blue, blue. Okay. This is a function because for every x value, there's only one y value. All right. For every house, there's one and only street address. So, yes. All right. So you can try to think from there. Desmos calculator right there. Boom, boom, boom. You can graph it. Vertical line test. So I gave you a vertical line on here. So if you wanted to use this as your vertical line test, yes, it only passes through 1 point. Boom. So is this a function? Yes. All right. Now, if I go here, does this pass the vertical line test? No, because it hits infinite points. Where did it go? Format options. Sorry, I'm not used to this type of mouse. Order. Send back. All right. So does this pass the vertical line test? No. All right. So this will make sense if you watch that function or not video, right? So it can only be a function if you use this vertical line and it only passes through 1 point at a time. Okay, so then that would be not a function. This one would be not a function because if I have that there, if I have that there, it goes through 2 points. So this would not be a function. All right. What if you're given the rule? So let's look. So now you're going to graph, you're going to make functions and not functions. So like this circle one here, this would not be a function. Okay, because if I drew a vertical line, it would hit more than 1 point. It would hit 2 or 3 points. If you're given the rule. All right, so what is f of 1? So this means function of 1. So this 1 here means I plug in x. So I'm going to look where x is 1. X is 1 right here, right? Now, I'm going to draw a line and see where it hits my relation. Well, it hits it at 2. So f of 1 equals 2. So that would be if I would to put it into a coordinate, that coordinate would be 1, 2. So is this line a function? Yes. Because if I drew a vertical line, it would pass it at every point. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to make my pen let's make it green. Make it a little thicker. All right. So 4x. Now, what if you're not given a graph? This f of x or f of 1 means that I plug in 1 for x. So f of 1 equals 4 times. Where I see an x, I put a 1. So 4 times 1 is 4, minus 2 is 2. Okay, so you can do it with a graph or you can plug it into an equation. All right, so same thing here. What is f of 2? So I'm going to look at where x is 2, and then I'm going to draw and see where it hits a y point. It hits it at 3. Okay? Is this a function or not? So let's erase all this. I'm going to give you a hint. If I draw a vertical line, I hit 2 points. So I'll give you more than the hint. That's a null. Okay, so make sure you do those. Okay, what is f of negative 2? So let's look. Here's negative 2. I draw it. Boom. It's at 2. That's a terrible 2, and I'm so sorry. All right, so you can do that with f of negative 1. Is this a function or not? This is a function. Okay, because if I draw a vertical line, it only hits my graph at one single point. All right, now this one it says, what is f of 2? So this is a little interesting. Oh, you can't even see, can you? Let's do f of 0 instead. All right, so if I do f of 0, here's x is 0. If I look, it hits at 2 places. So that means it can't be a function. Okay, but we can still evaluate it. All right, so f of 0, I have 2 answers. So it hits at 2 and it hits at negative 2. All right, so you'll have 2 answers for f of negative, or f of 3. That's supposed to be a negative 3, by the way. Let me go change that here. All right. Cool beans. Let's look at this next one. F of x. Okay, so now this basically says when y is 0, what is x? So now I'm going to look when y is 0. Okay, what is x? So that would be 1. So you have to kind of think backwards on this one. All right, so when y is negative 4, what is x? X is negative 1. All right, so now we're going back to before. So this is when you have the equation and you need to plug in the x. So what is f of negative 8? So that means that we're going to plug in negative 8 here. So y equals 2 times negative 8 minus 2. So then that's y equals 16 minus 2. So y equals 14. All right, now this one, remember, is backwards. So now I plug in 12 for y. So 12 equals 2x minus 2. Because basically this says, well, when y is 12, what was x? So now I got to solve for x. So add 2 to both sides. Divide by 2. X was 7 when y is 12. Okay, so that's what you do on this page. All right. One more time, I'll do another example. So x squared, I plug in that. So that's negative 8 squared plus 14. So that's 64 plus 14. Okay, so you can add that together. All right. So You just plug in numbers on this one and solve. Okay, then you have for delta math, you have function or NA. Okay, all right, so hopefully you have to watch this video and hopefully you watch this video so things will make sense. This Math Antics is a really good video and that should help you. All right, have a great day.